Hey guys, it's Shop Talk with Drew, live from the workbench again. Oh, it's the 16th of March. I really was hoping that I was going to have some better audio this week. I hooked up my D5 AKG mic and some other stuff, and I don't know, just recording on this application sucks. And so no D5, still just the crappy headphones with the mic on them. I'm going to have to resort. If anyone else knows of anything, a better way to record into a iPhone, just let me know. Really ridiculous, actually. I wish I could just turn off the mic setting and do it from there. Anyways, got a little guitar hooked up. I was, again, sorry about the audio. I thought it would sound a little bit... haven't played and probably played a couple times in the last year or so. There's a burnout on it. Anyways, I know last episode I was referring to the New Orleans Pelicans as the New Orleans Hornets. I know, yeah, I got that wrong. I wasn't thinking. Actually, I was quite nervous. And yeah, then actually the Charlotte Hornets used to be my favorite team before they were renamed the Charlotte Hornets again. And I forgot somebody that came into the store when I wasn't there. I was, I think, on my off day. And I wasn't there or whatever. But Joe Bonamassa came in and he bought some old shitty, it actually had mildew in it, Samsonite luggage. Of course, he didn't even want to look at the guitars because he's got everything. And yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying all the March Madness that's going on. I know I'm digging it. This most college basketball I've watched this week and last week. Trying to get these to you at least once a week, and I really was pretty busy this week, so I couldn't get around to it. But next week I don't have too much going on, so I'm going to try to get one going earlier on in the week. I was going to do it during, I was going to record last night during halftime of the Cavs game. It just looked terrible. And then after that, I just wasn't in the mood. And besides, I wanted to play some guitar for you. Tell you what some of the stuff I've played through. And today it's a 1986 Zola guitar, Zolla guitar. And I think they used to be out of Bakersfield, California. This one's a 7/8 guitar. Ebony fingerboard, highly flamed, maple neck, Strat, basically a Strat copy, Strat headstock, no logo. DeMarzia tuners, which are pretty expensive. It's got all this red anodized hardware on it. And it's 7/8 guitar, so it's a tiny bit smaller, 24 fret with fall away built into the fingerboard. And it's got a 70s Strat, not a knockoff one, but a 70s Strat bridge, which they're kind of expensive. The configuration is humbucker in the bridge and then single coil actually in the middle. Since it's a 7/8, there's no room to have a neck pickup, and actually the middle pickup is slanted sideways, like a la Steve Stevens, whatever. Before I get a little bit off subject, send me an email if you want Shop Talk with Drew at yahoo.com. Didn't really hear anything, but I was really surprised on how many people actually listened to last week's podcast. And I get some different recording applications. Things should start sounding better. like to have a couple different mics for the amps and stuff like that, and actually talking to a fucking real mic instead of this one. It's pathetic. It doesn't sound that bad, but then I was doing a test recording today, and I realized my microphone, it wasn't picking up anything, so I had to resort to this. Anyways, on the bridge, it's a Seymour Duncan Trembucker with the red outer ring. Again, it goes with the red anodized parts. And then a red cover on a Seymour Duncan. It's a stacked humbucker. I can't remember. Either way, I'm just on the bridge position right now. But it's kind of trebly, kind of brittle. I'm playing through this running to 1985 Ibanez Metal Screamer. For all you out there, it's just a tube screamer. That's all it is. And I believe it has two, instead of one gain stage, it has two gain stages. Actually, I have two of them, but this one is set like on my rhythm. Right now, I don't have the lead one on right now, the hotter one. Had three of them at one point. And then going into a RV6 Boss. And then going into 1969, 1970 Fender non-reverb that I had a custom faceplate made from Mojo Tone, and that was like $70 with my name on it. But it's a blackface. So then I can't remember the company. I had another company make a speaker baffle for it, but they also put on grill cloth. Well, this guy would like soak them in cigarette butts and all kinds of stuff and get them to where they looked vintage. I had him give me actually a brand new one. And then, so it looks all like it's a 65. No Fender logo or anything. Nothing out of this world. Had a guy named, the only guy I would let work on my amps is a guy named Steve from Pulse Electronics, and I think he's up in Pataskala, Ohio. And he just put of course he took out the death cap, and he just put a 3-prong power supply on it, and he recapped it, and then I think I had a broken volume knob. He switched out some of the knobs, everything. I got white chicken knobs on it now, so if I took it anywhere, no one would know what the hell it was. It's definitely a sleeper amp. Great amp. My favorite amp. I've kept through quite a few years. I've got other stuff, but I'm not going to mention it because there's no point. But, we like talking, grilling and Pawnshops and NBA around here, any kind of basketball. But hell, with the March Madness is the most I've seen college-wise all year long. I was watching the Celtics game the other night, and I think they went into 2 overtimes. It was 2 nights ago, I think. And was it the first overtime when Jason Tatum went down he had a layup and he got fouled on it, and he had a one shot from the free throw line, which he didn't end up making. But it was great. The game was great or whatever. But they shot to the cameraman shot to a guy, and he's clapping and screaming, and then he puts his 2 middle fingers up, and they have to get rid of the, pan off to some other picture. I just thought that was great. What need I say more? This is a good game. The Celtics end up losing. I almost said Cavs. But it's like 9 o'clock here and Eastern time. So I knew I had to record because after 10 my neighbor will kill me. But anyways, the amp is got the trim off. The bass is almost at 12 o'clock. The treble's over, it's at 2 o'clock. And the bass is at 10 o'clock. And the amp is not quite at 12 o'clock. It's just too loud. And I don't understand why. Because I'm about 20 feet away from it, That's the neck pickup. And you can tell that's the bridge pickup. And I forgot to mention, the body's pretty raw. It kind of looks like a Nuno Betancourt guitar. And it kind of looks like the Nuno Betancourt guitar of the first album, I think. But anyways, it's unfinished, which I really like. And I picked it up for $110 at a pawn shop. $110. They're the middle pickup. My boss at the time when I bought it, I took it back to where I worked at that largest pawn shop in the Midwest as far as sales floor goes. And we specialized in instruments, and he said, he was playing through it, and he said the pickup's worth $110, and I agreed. I was so happy I went back to the guy, because he just works in a little shop by himself, and he just threw it out there. I was actually interested in something else. I said, sure, I'll take it, and I thought I got such a good deal. I went to because I was going to pick up lunch with me and my wife anyways. It was on a Saturday. And I picked him up a Penn Station sub shop. Picked him up a sub. I was so happy with the deal, and he was happy. Free food is, it's hard to come by when you're working by yourself. That's for sure. Or just food. I was gonna say I think it was the last Cavs game. The Zizic had a goal, and they called it. Yeah, the Zizic. It was a goaltending. It was not a goaltend at all. A lot of the times they get a lot of these calls right, but some calls they get, especially goaltending calls, I get them wrong quite a bit. It just depends on the referee you got and what town you're in. And I'm not saying it's fixed because it's not fixed, but it's human error. But that's why they're there. And cheap guitar fixes, for like just around the household. I'd say probably one of the best things to have. And I was constantly asking this guy that was a jeweler that always had toothpicks when I worked in that store. I mean, he can fix strap buttons. He can do a lot of different things with them. Just stuff that's stripped out, holes that are stripped out. And there's different type of toothpicks too, and I'm not going to get too heavily on that. And then also Elmer's glue. You can actually fill in with the toothpicks, strap buttons and stripped out holes, and just the best thing for. And you can also use it for a nut job. Also, I know a lot of people don't smoke anymore, but cigarette cardboard from the actual pack itself. You can shim necks. You can shim different things with it. It's an easy fix for certain things. And also business cards. I've cut purposely when I was shimming a neck. I would cut my business card when I worked at the pawn shop downtown, because I would cut it, and then if anyone went back in it, which a lot of the hipsters and all these different people, DIY people nowadays, which there's a lot of them, they would see it. It's kind of a telltale where the guitar came from too. Just going over a couple different YouTube people I watch. A lot on the cooking side. This guy's pretty good to watch, and I like it because he has short videos and short informative videos. And it's Todd Toven. He has a lot of, I think, on the Yukon griddle. But anyways, I think the show is to make American griddle again, and that's hilarious because for a guy that like me, I don't want to be biased, but I think that's hilarious. Baby Back Maniac. I mentioned some others in the other episode too, and I won't mention them today. Russ Jones at Smoky Ribs Barbecue, and I think it's Southern Cuisine. Eater, of course, that's a big, huge one. Is it binging with Babish or is it binging with Babish? And I think it's binging with Babish. That guy's great. Informative, funny. Also, Cowboy Kent Rollins. This guy's got quite a bit of... he's been on different TV shows and stuff like that. Does a lot with his cooker. Just fucking check him out. It doesn't matter. Cowboy Kent Rollins, and you probably have seen him before. Cosmos Q, and I like this guy. He plays with a lot of food. He gets a lot of it from his personal playground, the Wolf Pit. That guy's good too. As far as guitar stuff, I only listed a couple, just because they're, these guys work on the amps a lot of the time. They fix other things too, but that's kind of, I know about tube amps and desirable vintage amps and stuff like that. I know cheap little fixes, but I'm not, I'm definitely not an engineer in that regard. So guys like the Guitarologist, and another guy I just found. Let me spell that guy's name. The Guitarologist. I can't even fucking pronounce it, but it's GUITOLOGIST. Guitar, whatever. Uncle Doug. This is a guy I just found recently. This guy's an older dude, but he builds shit from like scraps of stuff that he has sitting around, which I love. It's great to see that. On NBA, I watch a lot of NBA rebuilds and stuff like that. Six Rings of Steel. He's a young college kid. I was actually watching him since he was in high school. For a few years, the last few years I've seen him. He's got a great channel where he rebuilds a lot of teams. He does challenges and he'll do collabs with other people. And for funny stuff, it's also NBA related. Troy Dan. It's spelled how it sounds. It's actually not even his name. He's pretty funny, Canadian guy. And more funny stuff. There's a few Irish folks. They'll do a lot of stuff where they're drinking American beer and they're playing different little games and stuff, and people send them stuff and they'll try it out. But it's are you having that? That is hilarious. And they got, and they got the gunshots going. I think that's pretty funny. Then you got Boogie 2988. Yep, Boogie 2988. He's funny. I kind of feel bad for the guy. He's going through his divorce right now. And then I unfortunately watch eating challenges, and I don't do them, and I don't have a huge appetite. Sometimes I'll watch them, and I actually get really hungry. But Randy Santel, Wayne Algino, it's Algenio, and then Nathan Figueroa. I'm not going to spell it, and I actually didn't even write it down here. Jamie McDonald, he hasn't done anything for a long time. He's got a few different restaurants. I think he's in the Massachusetts area or something like that. But he's got like different styles of restaurants. He doesn't have like 6 restaurants that do the same thing. They're all different. And he was actually, one of his restaurants was featured on Dame Drops, which I like it, but it's not one of my favorites. A lot of times I don't even watch it. And Beard Meets Food. Beard Meets Food. English guy, yeah. I'm terrible trying to figure out the accent. Wasn't even thinking about that. So yeah, what was it, a week ago? Celtics clinched the playoff race. Donovan Mitchell, this is a week and a half ago, winning the slam dunk competition. Although Larry Nance Jr.'s dunk was better. He had a signal to replay it, and then that's when the crowd picked up how difficult it was. It just didn't look that hard because he did it so well. But, Donovan Mitchell's small. He's not small, but for him to do Vince Carter's dunk, okay, I get it. It's difficult. Extremely difficult. And, but him, Larry Nance Jr. finally getting to wear his dad's jersey number 22, and why it's still retired. I think that's great. Cavs fans did that. Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking about this last night, and I've thought about this before, but I never thought to say anything about it. It's the foreign NBA players, and I don't know if it's Teodosic or whatever. It's not just him, it's a lot of the foreign players. They need a haircut and or shave. I mean, it is terrible. I mean, yeah, you got guys from here, like Alfred Payton. I just want to go run up and cut his fucking hair. But, you got these other guys. Come on. They're just, it's like, has anyone taught you how to shave? Think about it. I know you've seen it too. So, that's it, basically. And, oh, Jesus, I'm so fucking parched. Yeah, that's the, if you're wondering what that is, that's the beer with, they put a little lime in there. I'm not going to say what it is. And today, I went even classier. I put a brown bag around it. You got, I was just thinking about my interview when I first started, and this is over 10 years ago at the Pawnshop downtown. And, I'm not going to use anybody's real name or anything, but I went in there, and the owner, I didn't even realize it at the time. It was actually about a month later. I got a raise, $2 raise, because he didn't even look at my resume. Because I went from making like $15 an hour to making like $9 an hour and starting at this place. And so I go for the interview, and I thought it was going to be an interview. Well, he's on one side of the counter, I'm on the other side, and he goes, and I kind of dressed up too. Like corduroy, and it wasn't a flannel shirt, but it was similar. And he's like, yeah, okay, I don't even think he's seen that I worked at a music store before. But he goes, which I did in the south end of Columbus, which doesn't fucking matter. They were there for 20-some years. And he goes, do you mind the word fuck? That's how the interview started out. And we were just around everybody else. He was obviously busy doing something. He didn't care. He just wanted to hire some young kid that was cheap and he can, torment and tell what to do at the time until he realized I had some knowledge of stuff. And he goes, I said, no, I don't mind the word fuck. And he goes, oh, that's good because there's a guy that works here that says it a lot. I said, okay, whatever. And he goes, go over to the other side of the store and introduce yourself to a guy named Brady and see if he likes you. I said, okay. So I went over there, I sat down and talked to him, and we got along really well. And I was there for about a half hour. And I went back. I can't remember if I even went back and said anything to him. But he was supposed to be for part-time. So I worked, like 2 days a week. I come in the next week to work my 2 days a week, and he goes, why didn't you show up for the other days? I said, well, because you told me it was going to be 2 days a week. It's part-time. Which was perfect for me because I was going to go to school at the time. And he goes, no, it's 3 days a week. I said, okay. So I worked my 3 days a week. Come back the next week. He goes, why didn't you show up all the other times? And I'm thinking, this guy is fucking crazy. And I was right. But so anyways, so I ended up working full time, which was good because that's what I wanted. And, 9 years later, the rest is history. And I remember one time I was working in there and this guy comes in and I was just learning about everything, but I was figuring out stuff because we had so much broken shit sitting around there. And he comes in, he brings in a blue voodoo head or whatever. And I think it's Blue Voodoo 120. I can't remember. I think there's a 60 120. It doesn't matter. Anyways, he just had a microphonic too, but this thing smelled like gasoline real bad. So, but he acted like it wasn't a big deal, and I said I can't do anything with it because I don't know if it's just that. It might be something else. And he said okay. And actually, I was with the guy, and I walked it out into my car because the guy was going to throw it away. Went home, replaced it was just a 12AX7 microphonic tube, switched it out, played it, worked good, except for the gasoline smell. And I used a bunch of Goo Gone and other stuff, vinyl cleaner, trying to get this thing. And I did get the smell off of it, but eventually, I think within that week, I sold it on eBay for a few $100. I can't remember. And there's also a Blue Voodoo cab I almost bought. The guy, there's a place here called Whitey Lunzar's. And he used to work there back in like the 70s or whatever. He was their amp tech. And I was going to buy the cabinet off him, but for some reason I just made a mistake. And I even talked to another guy I worked with. I knew that some of them came with Eminence speakers. Well, this one didn't have the Eminence. I knew the later, darker, the black ones had Eminence speakers in it, and they'll even say it on the front. And I felt fucking terrible because I wasted this guy's time, but I think I drove all the way up to Pickerington and went to his studio. That was in his garage, which was pretty cool because he had other stuff, but he was livid. But, it wasn't what I was looking for. I was actually going to take him out and do something with him because I think at the time I had a Red Bear MK60 or whatever. And I had a 212 crate, which they're kind of hard to come by, the old ones. But it had Celestians in it, the white labels or whatever. But I was going to do something with it, make some project out of this shit. Kind of glad I didn't. Probably would have screwed that up. But, then later on in life, I knew the guy that started German Village, which was Whitey Lunzar's. And it wasn't who I thought it was, which was Bill Foley. This other guy, he ended up working where I worked, and I no longer work there. But he was a luthier or whatever, and real knowledgeable and everything, real cool. So I got one thing going on. I'm thinking about going to YouTube TV, not the podcast or anything, just thinking about picking it up, because I could pick it up for like $35 a month for taxes, and then I know they say $39.99 or whatever. Well, I have all these Samsung TVs, which I love Samsung TVs, and I'm just really pissed that I have them because I can't screen mirror from my iPod or from my iPhone or from whatever, because we have Apple products phone-wise, and I can't screen mirror. So if anyone could, I was going to stream to Apple TV. If anybody out there knows of some other devices that are good to stream to, I really wanted the YouTube TV because I can still pick up Fox Sports Ohio. It just depends on your location, what you can pick up and what you can't. But I can get all the NBA games on TNT, and the playoffs are coming up soon, so they're all going to be on ABC or TNT, and I can still get the local channel here where I can watch the Cavs. But the other Cavs, I used to be able to pick it up before the digital conversion and I lived in the same apartment complex back then too. And I could pick it up just over this fucking heater kicked on. I just realized that. I got to get some better recording applications here. If anybody has any suggestions, again, you can email me at shoptalkwithdrew at Yahoo. And, you know, I remember I was playing some gig, and that's what the guy, he played. I don't even know if he played that. I did it right behind him, too. Like there's 2 bars or 4 bars later. I can't remember. Oh, no. It was right after it. So I went. He's pissed. Oh, well. Yeah. He's out in La La Land somewhere. But with that said, you know, I'm going to get some